Hello, everybody. Welcome to 911 Wine.
The podcast that St. Helena didn't know it needed.
This is Hillary.
And this is Chris. And thanks for joining us on 911 Podcast.
So this is episode 11.
Officially in the double digits.
And we have a few things to discuss before we get into it and with our special guest.
Okay.
The first thing is we have just been fighting a ton of fires. So
It's been busy.
I want to give a shout out to Chris and all the first responders. And thank you for keeping our little valley safe. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
It was a hoot. It was a lot. It's been a busy last couple weeks, so.
But we made it through.
We did it.
Number two, this is even bigger news.
Let's hear it.
911 Wine is expecting. And we don't know the gender.
What's it going to be?
It's going to be a dog. And you're the father. I should have led with that.
When are we expecting the young edition?
December. It'll be born next month in October.
God. This is exciting.
It's a really big thing.
I've already offered to watch this said puppy at least once or twice during a year.
So that's what I mean. You're kind of a mediocre father, but like we'll get you there.
Basically a deadbeat dog dad.
I mean, it kind of fits the part, but that's fine. Okay, do you want to introduce our guest for episode 11?
Sure, I'd love to. So our guest is the general manager at Brasswood, and his name is Marcus, and we're really excited to have him here. He's got a lot of history in St. Helena, and just in talking to him and having some of this Brasswood wine, I'm a fan. So.
Yeah, well, he's an author, he's just won a big award too. I'm just gonna toss that in there, so you can go ahead and introduce yourself because we're just gonna.
Welcome, Marcus Marquez.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for showing up on a whim in some random podcast that has only 11 episodes. Finally in the double digits.
Well, it's a big deal.
And number 11 is very lucky, so.
It's very lucky. I mean, I keep telling you, we are practically influencers.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're honored just to be in our presence.
I am, and I wish I could have put this down as one of the 100 things to do in Napa Valley before you die.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah.
Can we start talking about this awesome book? So anyway, Marcus gave us 100 things to do in Napa Valley before you die, which if you don't have one, they're on the second edition. You should absolutely do it.
So what inspired you to do this book?
The inspiration behind this book was really random when I got the phone call but from the publisher and asked if I wanted to do it. It was really a quick conversation. A friend of mine did it in a different city, and I just mentioned to him that I was like, oh, that would be a cool thing to do. The next day, publisher called me and said, I heard you wanted to do the book in Napa Valley. I was like, sure, how hard can it be? And then once it became a reality, I realized that it was a real project and I needed to make time for it. And the inspiration was really honestly to give thanks to all these places that make Napa Valley so great, and also gave me inspiration and got me to where I am today. So it was awesome to be able to write some of my favorite things to do, and blindly, they had no idea they were in the book, and put them in there and just talk about what I kind of do.
That's phenomenal.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So we had 101 things that would be.
Well, third edition will sneak 911.
Third edition. You guys could be the co-authors, and you could be the Chris and Hill show.
I mean, we rank right along there by the French Laundry. So
yes,
absolutely.
Dinner tonight and the beer was perfect.
Yeah. So shout out to Charter Oak for some Charter Oak burgers.
Yeah. So tonight too, in regards to the log, we're talking about. We're just doing a newbie because there was a lot of good stuff I didn't want to take away with an old log. So we're doing July 2020 for this episode.
Which was a very... What was even going on in July?
The 4th of July?
But there was no 4th of July. It was canceled.
I think it's the day still happened. I still wore red, white, and blue. I don't know what you did.
Wow. But... Patriotic. Good. I appreciate that.
With this, do you want to tell us what wine we're enjoying right now?
Yeah,
a little bit about that.
Thank you so much for bringing the Charter Oak burger, because like I said in the text, that is truly one of my favorite burgers and favorite places to eat in St. Helena. So I pulled out one of our newer release, the 2017 Cabernet Sauvigion, It comes from our Coombsville vineyard. We have 10 acres there, and it's 2 clones, 337 and 7, and French oak, and Angelina Mondavi winemaker. And we also had brought a fun wine that no one really knows. It's from our Russian River Valley vineyards, and it's a Pinot Noir, and it's 2017. So it's wine that she makes for Stacia and myself, and this for Brasswood.
Cool.
Awesome, man, it's great. And yeah, I just have a little of the cab right now, and man, it smells awesome and is
Scrumptious.
brilliant. I love it. Angelina's talented.
Yeah.
And we got to hang out with all of her sisters on the last podcast.
I know. We'll have to get her on here soon
Ton of
enough.
fun.
But she wasn't one of the 3.
She couldn't unfortunately make it that day, but we got to still like enjoy all her wine.
Yes.
So
It really worked out.
for
So
us.
speaking about Brasswood, just before we get, I know you're itching to get into the podcast.
I know. You know how excited I get about this crime.
Just pump the brakes, Phil. I want to hear about
the
Brasswood.
crime.
Because Marcus has a long history, like, in fact, the longest history of Brasswood, because he helped start it. So
Yes.
tell us about it real quick.
No, it's a really quick story. There's no
He's
legacy.
like, I showed up.
I
I'm
showed
glad
up.
I got a job.
Yes, I looked at the property and said we should call it Brasswood. Basically, in 2016, Brasswood was activated, and we were able to open the restaurant. As a lot of people do know, we captured a lot of the great talent from Trevigny, and they came over to Brasswood and started. I literally turned on the lights, and they're professional. They just started going. So the
Cool.
general manager to the chef to the bussers, dishwasher, sommelier, bartenders.
Including the mozzarella, which I don't know if we're allowed to talk about or not. But
Because it's not on your menu. Are
It's-
we allowed to talk about that?
You know, it's now.
Is it on the menu
It
now?
might be on the menu because of COVID. Because now.
I want you to take it back
it's so
off.
secret.
Yeah, well,
Because
I think.
I felt so cool walking in and being like, I want the mozzarella, and, you know,
Yeah.
and it was like the way I could shine
It
when
probably
my friends come
isn't
into
on
town.
there. And it was one of those things where I think because of the mass and they couldn't tell the specials, so they just dumped all the information on the menu.
So post COVID, it'll be removed.
Probably.
Okay.
Still
Yeah.
yeah. Special.
Well, and too, for people that don't know Brasswood,
Yes.
you know, I feel like it's like a whole compound. Well,
It is.
compound kind of I feel like it's negative connotations, but
The jail. It's a jail.
well, I think of like cults and stuff. But
Brasswood Colt.
Doesn't sound too bad.
I'd like to join that one.
Exactly.
But it's cool because you guys have 1, an incredible restaurant.
Yeah.
Like 2, you have an incredible bakery, and then 3, you have incredible wine and a tasting room. So it's like everything that Napa Valley has to offer, all on one location.
Yeah, we're very fortunate when Stacia and her vision of building a winery and a commercial property with the restaurant, it was really easy to put that concept together. So having the restaurant, the bakery, the tasting rooms, we have a gallery, we have a bottle shop or mercantile.
See, I forgot all that.
We're basically the only Up Valley liquor store, so a lot of the locals come and
You're
get
like
their
a fancy Costco. You can get
We're
everything you
fancy
ever
You
needed.
can even get shoes
That's
and
what I mean. You
shirts.
could live there.
Yep. And we might have an extra generator for anybody that needs it.
Don't tempt me.
We're known for hoarding generators.
That's not a bad thing to hoard around here, especially
Yes.
around these times.
Well, we always buy the wrong ones that doesn't work for the property, so I'm always like,
Oh.
oh, we need a bigger one. But the property itself, it is a vintner's village. We are custom crush on the winery, so we make about 27 different labels with 15 different 100-point winemakers. So there is Rosemary Cake Brett, Angelina Mondavi, her cousin Rob Mondavi, Tim Milos, Russell Bevins, Jade Barrett. I always do this, and then I'm going to forget one, and if they hear this, they're going to be like, you totally forgot
Well,
me.
et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera. Go to the
Yeah.
website and find out who else works there, even though they're not on the website. But
Good company.
That's fine.
great company, great winemakers, and so they drive the traffic to the village where they're allowed to taste their wine. So it's kind of a win-win, and the energy there is really fun. And
It's wonderful.
And we get to try everybody's different vineyards and their style of wines, but all Napa Valley and some Sonoma.
There we
Well, it's
go.
such a huge improvement of, because what it used to be, as we were talking about earlier, it was just the factory outlets that nothing had ever survived in that location until you guys took it over.
Did you guys know what was there before besides the outlets?
It was,
It was an art thing, right?
Well, Nimbus had a space
Okay.
there.
But before
Even
the
before
outlets,
that.
I probably
I
wasn't
don't know.
alive.
You definitely were not alive.
Way to make Marcus feel old.
Well, you probably were
I
alive.
was alive. And me.
So that's where Camus and Two Buckshot Charles Shaw started.
Oh,
That's where their
okay.
tasting room was on that
I had
property.
no idea.
I
Oh,
know.
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool history that it's rarely talked about. I never even say that out loud. Usually when I describe the property.
Thank
so.
you for
So
this is huge.
Yes,
This is a big
it's
part. We're dropping a lot of things.
Dropping
Not just
a
names,
lot.
we are dropping
You can't
news.
even Google it because it was before the internet was invented.
Wow.
So
One day we're gonna do a Charles Shaw tasting just to go back and do some, some old.
You have some in your
historical stuff.
library?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it, man. That's really
Yeah,
cool
so
history.
Brasswood, for those of you, and you guys are always welcome. It's such a fun. I mean, we do so many different
I
things.
show
that
up
are-
frequently.
And now you have
It's
Gianna Chiarello in the bakery.
Gianna in the bakery.
I feel like this episode is kind of pulling all our previous episodes together.
It really
The
is.
I know,
Mondavi
from the
sisters, we
Mondavis,
have
Gianna,
Gianna.
yeah.
There's just so much that
so. It should
everyone's
be that
connected.
that guest needs to invite the next guest. So I will
That's a good
invite your.
idea.
Brilliant.
I've already told you who I
Exactly,
want. So
so
we'll see.
we'll
If
keep
you
that
can
a
make
secret.
it happen, we'll keep it a secret, but think of the swag you're going to get. Think of the socks with our logo.
I can't wait to, if that person's on the socks with the logo.
If that's what you want, I'll deliver.
I think you would wear
I'll
them
make
too.
that. I will make that happen.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we got to jump
Remember,
into
you
the
heard it
crime
here first. Okay,
Yes.
before
lead us off.
before I don't. Well, now I have to find a good one. You put me on the spot, and I wasn't quite ready.
This is a fun one.
Okay.
A Magnolia Avenue resident needed to get in touch with animal control about a few raccoons, or maybe a fox, stuck under his foundation.
I feel like those are slightly easy to differentiate
Yeah.
between the two.
Agreed.
I'm gonna go with raccoons.
Definitely.
How about report of a man setting up a cart and umbrella and selling fruit and drinks near Main Spring? Police took no action because it wasn't against the law, and there's no city ordinance pertaining to it. I feel like good for him.
Yeah, he's an entrepreneur during COVID, man.
And I'm sure the fruit's scrumptious.
It's mango, right? What is it?
Yeah, I would park this next to his stand and do a live podcast out next to the fruit stand.
We should interview him.
Yep. Do it on Main Street.
We could do like a quick special, like a 10-minute.
Does he want
But
to
is-
sponsor us?
Is that illegal?
I
Selling
don't
fruit
know.
might not be,
That's
but
the thing. There's no city ordinance pertaining to it. So does that mean one is being developed? Because there's nothing. He's in between the laws. He is the smartest person. I wouldn't even call him a criminal. I'd say he's a mastermind.
He's brilliant. He's an entrepreneur.
He went through the permits.
and it's great advertising for him
And
because now people are going to go and try to
They're
find
gonna go,
Here
what's
we
the
go.
name of the fruit stand?
What is the name of the
I
fruit?
don't. I have no. I didn't.
But
They didn't.
your kids have gone.
Yes,
Yeah,
my
so let's
youngest
hear
loves it for the fresh mango,
Huh.
and I'm not sure if it's like a smoothie or if it's a
I think it's cut fruit.
cut fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says it's one of the best values for a snack in St. Helena.
We can go. I'll go bring my hat.
And
Don't even tempt me.
the day he wasn't there, I saw the sad face on his face, like, oh man, the mango guy's not there.
Oh, so yeah, he's making an impact on people's lives.
There's
Yes.
also a lemonade stand in front of Napa Coffee Roasting Company. Have you seen this?
I've seen
And-
the empty stand, but I haven't seen small humans.
No, they. I think they're large humans. I think they.
Oh.
They
I thought it was
donate-
tiny
I think
humans,
there's
like
probably
children.
one involved, but they donate it to the fire department. Like, sweet.
Oh,
props.
that's lovely.
Yeah, how cool is that?
What about report of a constant chainsaw noise at a house on Spring Mountain?
Typical.
They're just probably doing some fire breaks.
Yeah.
Probably.
Smart. Right.
Probably. Do you have any on your sheet you'd like to share with the group?
There's a lot that happens on Cronulla Drive.
Some hoodlums live there.
So, report of an old dog walking around on Cronulla Drive. Police picked up the friendly elderly dog and called his owner. So, if you're listening and you are the owner, please call in or email and find out if that dog is still alive.
Friendly elderly dog.
So you don't know this. So I grew up near Cronulla.
You did.
I did. We had a cat that I would call very friendly and elderly. Old. This was pre-Jane. This was Jaws.
Oh my god.
We learn all about my cats on this podcast. I promise
love
I'm not a
it.
crazy cat.
And they're all named Jays.
No, well, apparently I didn't mean to do that, but now that you say that, it's all coming together. So maybe we should name our dog child after a J name.
All right.
Anywho, side note. So we had this old cat, Jaws. he wandered over to like the neighbor's house, and the neighbor had someone like visiting them, I guess. This person thought the cat was like dying and deranged, and like picked it up and took it to the vet. And they ran all these expensive tests on it. They're like, the cat's dying. And we're like, the cat's like 20 years old. Like, it's on cat hospice. Of course it's dying.
Yeah.
And like, no, we're not going to pay for all these tests. Like, and then the neighbor's like, oh yeah, my friend mentioned like she picked up this old cat. We think it's yours. And then we thought the cat had just gone off to like have its last moments.
Like the elephants.
Yeah. Nope. It had gone probably to Dr. Gold's. And,
Yes.
Anyway, Jaws lived like 3 more years after that. So.
That's...
Anyhow, I can relate to the Cronulla old pets just wandering, looking for friends.
Is there a pet cemetery over there?
No, but there should be.
You gotta go to Tulake for that in Napa. Speaking of wandering, Sunday, July 5th, 3:05 in the morning, police assisted 2 people at a winery south of town who needed a ride to St. Helena and couldn't find a Lyft or an Uber. An officer gave them a ride. One of the occupants later thanked the officer for being very nice and, quote, not mean.
Wow.
I mean, what else would you want?
Yes.
Is that a new service, though? Can I call, like, the non-911 line when I need a ride? Like, tonight, if I don't want to walk home, can I call them for a quick little ride?
I bet if after they hear this podcast, they'll be more than willing to keep us on their good side, right? Or maybe we need to keep them on our good side.
Probably.
In stereo.
My first question with that is, what winery is south of town? I have my opinions.
There's quite a few. And at 3 in the morning.
Who would have a party? So it's clearly a July 4th party.
Oh.
Right? Because this is Sunday the 5th. So who had a 4th of July party?
I plead the 5th.
I'm saying Satui. I'm saying it was
You're going
Satui.
it. You're saying names.
I'm dropping names. They have
I just
big
want to know why
parties.
we weren't invited.
I'm kind of salty about it.
I would be too.
Get a hold of Brooks and Tom and ask why.
What about at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, a potential employee was told he is not a good fit for a local restaurant? If you have a comment, please feel free to jump in.
That is the number one. That's how you always say goodbye to an employee, is by you're not the right fit.
He got upset and refused to leave. He finally left when police were en route. But is that like a good tactic for getting a job, being like, I'm going to sit here until you hire me?
So when I opened up Goose and Gander, we did a group hiring, right? So you interview the bartenders, the servers, managers, everything. And then you do a group orientation. Mm-hmm. Well, there wasn't a person that showed up to the orientation that wasn't hired and just did the whole training and basically became an employee because she had no idea that she wasn't hired. She just showed up for all the training.
And is she still here today?
I don't know if she's still on the floor, but she worked there.
That's
she was
fantastic.
Like, we looked around and we're like, did you hire her? And we're like, no. Just like, did you hire her? Like, no. And she's basically bussing and working, and she hired herself.
That's
Go
brutal.
girl.
Good for her.
Yeah,
Good
that's
for
what
her.
I mean. Like, there are tactics to do this.
Just don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, you
No,
just
that's it.
keep showing up. You hold your ground
Don't quit. Never quit.
until police are en
That's
route.
cool.
Until the police are en route.
So as the GM of Brasswood, you do all the hiring and firing and all that, yeah?
I do. At the restaurant, I have a GM and an executive chef, and they will hire and fire their team, but for the executive teams and the winemakers and stuff,
Nice.
definitely.
Have you ever been in the police log?
Personally, I have, not that I know of, but once again, I've had a dog in the police log.
Okay.
We had an elderly dog.
Was it kind and
And
wandering?
she was kind, and she was off a leash. And our neighbor at the time did not know we probably had a dog, and she was in the front yard, and she called on our dog in our front yard. And I don't recall the police ever showing up, but I remember seeing it in the police log, because at that point I was like reading them every week. Because remember when they used to put the DUI people in there?
We have talked about this.
They should keep it.
That was like my game of like, who did I go to high school with that made the DUI log?
And it was like Texas, and it was like St. Helena.
Yep. Ooh.
I know.
Well, Hillary's made the police log multiple times for animals.
Okay, yeah, don't go into that after the DUI list. I'm going to lose all my patience.
Oh,
I have
good
never
enough.
had a DUI, just to clarify. And I never planned to. Yeah, I've made it a few times, just being here through the years. losing those dogs anymore. And
You were that person?
I mean, I found it. It was hiding in the yard the whole time.
That is awesome. I know there's a lot of dogs this couple weeks because on some day, July 22nd, police picked up Buster, a well-known golden lab that was loose near the trail behind the library. So whoever Buster is,
And he's well known.
Buster should come on.
we
to
need to
this
find
show.
Buster. I bet with 1 degree of separation, we probably know. the
We probably
person.
know
absolutely.
Buster.
I had a Buster dog once.
Did you?
Great big dog.
Okay.
Let's see. Someone saw a box of fireworks in the middle of Crappy Field on Sunday, July 5th at 1500.
Oh, here you have a dog one too.
Oh, this is good. So that same day, Sunday, July 5th must have been like a really off day.
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Everyone's recuperating from their
Non-COVID.
marginal COVID parties. 12:14, report of a juvenile and a black dog swimming in someone else's pool on Stockton Street.
That's right near where I live.
Do you have a black dog?
No,
You have
but
a
my
juvenile.
neighbor has a black dog with a juvenile.
I'd say more power to him. Good job.
I always leave the house when people come and jump in the pool. I'm always like, I'm
See ya.
gone. I don't want to be responsible for any of the drownings.
Oh, man.
That's smart. Oh, this
How long have
one?
you been in St. Helena, Marcus? Sorry, I
No,
just totally
no,
just-
you jump on in.
I'm curious. Like, you've been
Yeah,
here for a
so
long time?
yeah, well, I used to work out here in the late '90s. That's
Yeah.
where I was introduced to St. Helena and the wines, and then the current house. We've been here for about 10 years.
Cool. Nice.
So we also made the connection earlier, the St. Helena connection.
You right?
Bocce.
Oh my god.
Like, that is such a staple St. Helena activity.
And in fact, that was my first question to Marcus was, wait, so what's your bocce team?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And I am on the Casino Cowboys,
And you're on the...
I'm on the Sand Crabs.
and we're on the same night, which
Same
is
night,
crazy.
Yeah.
I never-
See, I was on Niagara Balls. Shout out. We were on Sundays. We did very well this year.
Undefeated.
I think we got beat, but like we...
No, this year.
Oh,
Undefeated.
yeah. 2020.
Yeah, everyone's-
all our teams are
Everyone
undefeated.
and an undefeated season. It was great. Seriously, when is bocce coming back? Does anyone know?
It's outlawed right now.
That's was Stephanie. She runs it.
It's in the book, and now I'm curious what I wrote about bocce.
Let's hear it.
Bocce brings...
Who's on your team?
I have a bunch. I have like Jeff Corsi, Albie Corsi, Gianna Corsi, Amelia,
Team
Amelia
Corsi.
and Matt Sherwin. I have like Cole Ballantyne and soon to be Brooke Ballantyne.
Fun.
I have JP and Ashton, and then there's me. I don't know who else is on my team. So do you want to talk about who's
The
on your
important people.
team?
The Sand Crabs. Sand Crabs. I mean, it's the most amazing team we've played. Many years of bocce. I don't know if we've won, but yeah, that's Alexa Cutler, Chris Hall. He's a big one. Josh Phelps is on it.
Oh, Josh is on your team.
Josh is on the team. Yeah,
Awesome.
he was. We both, Josh and I, pledged the Sand Crabs together.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Did you have a special like
There's a pin.
inauguration?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it like a sorority?
I can't
Like,
tell
did
you
you
about
all
it.
wear in white and you can't talk about
I
it?
can't talk about it. But there's a pledge pin that goes along with it. So
Well, I
Yeah.
did not get one of those. We hear a lot of couples though on bocce. I don't know if you want to
Ooh,
touch
yeah.
on this, but you used to be on a
Yeah,
bocce
you have
team,
a couple on your team.
there are yeah, there are.
and you
Yes.
used to have couples, right?
Yeah, we were on a Sunday night team called the Pinot Pushers, and it was a winning team. We won the gold medal in the past, and always went back and forth. And at one point, as sometimes relationships happen, a few of our team members were separating, but they would give up their assets outside of bocce, but neither of the couples wanted to give up the bocce team. So we did play a season with significant others that were no longer and
That is
together.
a true
That's-
St. Helena
That's
experience.
That's incredible.
Like you give up the kids, you give up the house, but you keep that bocce coveted spot.
Correct.
You can't just join a bocce team.
No, do you
Not a
know
winning
how
team, no.
excited I was? Like
You
I
invited-
moved back, I finished grad school, and then I got
Good deal.
invited to bocce. It was like my life is complete.
So if I can take an excerpt from the 30-second thing to do before you die in Napa Valley. Drink wine and mingle with the locals. It is the best opportunity to see how wine country folks relax. If you get a chance to roll a fuel, that's a bonus. If you want to play as a guest, the Bocce League has 6 pages of rules and regulations. You'll have to pick up a game outside of Bocce League hours. And check this out. Here's a bit of factoid I didn't know. 1,500 players on 122 teams. Largest Bocce League in Northern California.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You know what's cool too is they put the bocce scores in the St. Louis Star every week.
Yes.
So like along with the police log, you can go read how you're ranking.
Oh man. You can learn how you're ranking in society with the police log. On both ends. Police log and bocce.
Well, there we go.
How about this one? Monday, July 6th. So this guy's had a couple days to chill out after the 4th of July. At 9 in the morning, report of a drunk man screaming on a cell phone in front of a South St. Helena winery with a bottle of Hennessy on the ground next to him.
I don't think he got that Hennessy at the winery. I think he brought that with himself.
And I like how you always get the South St. Helena calls.
Yeah,
It's because you're close to Rutherford and you just relate to them.
if it was a North St. Helena winery,
wait.
I'd say Brasswood or Freemark Abbey.
Yes.
Maybe Krug. But that kind of seems more central. It could be north.
Yeah.
We had a whole discussion on the Krug, the K, and the R that felt like we're...
I heard about
winery.
this. I know. I told Angelina that I actually was wanting to go get the paintbrush and just paint the K until they replaced the... Because I drove by it every day.
A big deal. I mean, custom made. You don't just...
You just can't
copy and
remake
paste
that.
another KR in there, right?
You
No.
can't like Etsy that
No.
or go down to Michael's and Napa and just pick the little one
It's
up.
not possible.
A smaller version.
Oh.
No, Nosh, north of St. Helena is what we're known for up there now.
Nosh.
Oh, I like that.
Nosh. It's like
That's-
posh. Nosh.
That's
Ooh.
fancy.
It's a little fancy.
I'm gonna start using that. It's like,
It's had Nosh.
okay.
Yeah. Or it's like, in Rutherford we call it Nokalon sometimes. North Nokalon.
And I have guests from LA that call it Napa. They're on their phone saying, like, I have to call you back. I'm in Napa right now. And we're looking around going, did they just call us Napa? I was like, okay, go Napa.
Done.
Oh my, you guys, this one. This is a little much. This is report of a man at 3 p.m. with his pants down. And this is not scandalous like you think. Well, it is, but not with another woman. Pants down low and his backside exposed near Library Lane. The caller said he was wiping his backside, possibly after defecating. Police checked the area and didn't see anyone matching the description.
The defecation description?
It was a poop and run.
Holy.
Do you know what though? In the world of medicine, we actually have a scale to rate poop. Like there's like a full like how you describe the poop. So they should have been more specific.
On the scale of things
I promise
things
you.
I didn't need to know. That's a solid 9.
I don't think 9 is solid.
Is that the scale?
I
Is
promise
the scale
you.
from 1
I
to
think
10?
it's called like Barlow's or something weird like that. It's like I think 1 to 10. When it's been a long time since I looked at it.
Fans of 911, you can check the Barlow scale out in our show notes.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, I wonder if this is the same guy. Report of a man on Main Street wearing no shirt and tan shorts with a hole exposed his backside. His bike had a flat tire and grocery bags hanging off the side. Easy access?
Can we just say for a minute how we appreciate the vernacular that the St. Helena dispatcher uses to describe butts?
Backside. This one hits close to home, but I don't
Wait
believe
a second.
that going in. Yeah. The owner of a local restaurant said an employee received several suspicious calls from a man claiming he was with the owner and wanting to know how much money was in the till because they were coming to pick it up. The owner has never made such a request, and the employee was a bit shaken by the call.
Oh.
Don't blame him.
So what would you do if someone called the hospital and asked for drugs and said,
I'm with the hospital owner. We're coming to pick up all the morphine. How much is there?
That would be really disturbing because they're coming to like steal all the money.
and if you get the right employee, I'm pretty sure
They would
might,
tell you.
or they might hand it over. If you're like a busser and you're like, hey, or yeah, I mean, that's a scam for sure.
That's creepy.
I wonder what local restaurant that happened to. We only have like 10 to choose
True.
from.
Yeah,
So-
if you really count all the restaurants, it's
It's not
limited.
many, yeah, it's limited.
Because we,
So what was starting Goose and Gander like? Because
Yes.
favorite place in
I
all,
say
in all the land.
we boast Goose all the time.
We do. We
Thank
do.
you. You know, when Andy called me and asked if I wanted to do this project with him, it was one of those things where I was a fan of the Martini House because I used to come to St. Helena, grab my wine, go have lunch there, and then go try to sell the wine. And I knew it was big shoes to fill, Pat Coletto and Todd Humphrey, the chef. But my biggest thing was that everyone was going to try to compare us to the Martini House and and it would be a hard shoe to fill. But right off the bat, because we didn't touch the bar, and we brought in Scott Beatty. Scott Beatty's known for his cocktails. People just fell in love with the space, the cocktails, our burger. Chef Kelly McCallan, he literally took 10 years to get the right sirloin cut, 70% of one and 30% of a lean meat. And so no matter what temperature you cooked it at, it was juicy and just like the grease dripping down your arm. And then the
you
model
guys
bakery.
add bone marrow.
We had bone marrow, and at the time we added foie gras. So it was foie gras, bone marrow, juicy sirloin, ground beef, model bakery bread, and it just. I used to put straws in the wine glasses because no one could put the burger down. So they were like, you could
That's
see
so
them going,
smart.
and so I would just add a straw to their wine glass so they can continue to eat their burger and then sip their wine. It was awesome. That property is so special. Andy has done wonders. It's now 9 years old, and there's always new and exciting things that are happening over at Goose.
I had my first legal drink ever at Goose and Gander.
Wow.
It's a little fun
like
tidbit for
3
the
years
fans.
ago.
Okay, no, it was a lot more than that. It was like right
Really,
after they
what did
opened.
you have?
I got the cucumber Collins.
Cucumber Collins, a
It was
Huckleberry.
a very basic, good.
I still drink that. Actually, I had that the other day.
Oh yeah, it's great. But yeah, I called ahead, and you guys were supposed to close at midnight, and I was like, "It's my 21st birthday. I'm coming in." So
How polite of you to call
well,
ahead.
Hillary's a planner. Yeah.
She's like, Anna's, I will be there at 1:45 in the morning. Please have the jukebox ready.
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Her
no, this
phone is
is-
organized by color and app.
Yeah, it's great.
Very detailed.
It's really great. It's functional and stylish, but that's not the point. But yeah, it was a very tame night. I went with like my mom and my brother because I had all my friends flying in the next day for this big party, but it was perfect. So that's like my first memory of Goose.
That's a great drink
And
to
then
have.
now it's like we always are there pre-COVID.
There also is a lot of famous, in addition to Hillary Hoppy, there are other famous people that show up there. Like LeBron James is like a big fan, yeah?
Yeah, LeBron James comes every April for his wife's birthday.
Cool.
We've had Ashton Kutcher.
I was in there once you were filming something. The guy from Sex and the City. Charlotte's
Yeah,
ex-husband
so
Trey. I don't know the actor's name. I just know
We
Sex and the
did
City
that.
star.
That was a fun one. That was for Anthony Bourdain's show, something called Getaway, The Getaway.
Well, I'm definitely in the background somewhere
Yeah.
there.
So perfect. So
Young,
that was
like
a great.
23-year-old
We
me.
shot Real Housewives of Orange County
Of
there.
course we did.
We had what's her name? She was one of the nicest celebrities. Not Britney
Blonde,
Spears,
brunette.
but
Christina
blonde.
Aguilera.
Not Christina. Older.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Not that old.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, she Daisy Dukes,
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson.
Of course.
So she came and she didn't drink wine; she drank vodka. But
Still a
she
good
was
place to
so
do it.
kind. She sent the team flowers and chocolates the next day,
Oh,
just
how
for.
lovely.
So.
Well, what I love about Goose is you guys, this is kind of like a hidden thing I'm about to tell everyone, but like you have the liar's dice, like hiding in the corner, or the
yes.
dice, I don't know. But
Whatever game you play liar's dice.
So like
Yeah,
as a
I remember
group,
that.
that's kind of like the go-to, like I have friends coming into town from high school or just like us local people, like we can go just like hang out, play a game, and like it's not quite the atmosphere of Anna's, but it's a little more classy, but
You
still
start
like
classy and you end up at Anna's
well,
eventually.
but it's still
We've
like
had people go from Anna's Goose. They
I'm
go back and forth.
Yeah, but it's relaxed enough that you can
Yeah.
just like go hang out and
Yeah,
have a good
chill.
drink, have a good burger.
It's
So,
the Wine Country Public House for St. Helena for sure.
Mhm.
yeah, it's great.
Absolutely.
We're all about it.
Thank you.
Downstairs is amazing.
I don't think I've ever eaten upstairs.
Come to think of it, me neither.
Yeah,
You two have not eaten upstairs. That's
I think
awesome.
I always eat in the bar. Oh, even if
Yeah.
I'm just going for dinner, I refuse to go
So
upstairs.
what's the story of the bar? The bar, you didn't mess with it. It was the same as the Martini House bar?
Correct.
Or-
So, I mean, Pat Coletto's an amazing designer. The only thing we did was we closed out the floor. So there used to be exposed. You could see upstairs. So we put the floor in the ceiling and used the original tables and chairs, but added those 2 booths in the corner and changed all the wine lockers to spirit lockers.
Yep.
And then we added some like Rolling Stone pictures. We just framed pictures from the Rolling Stones just to make it like a music kind of. And there was one time there was tourists from another country, and they really thought that Mick Jagger and Janis Joplin had been in that bar, and they were like talking about, and I couldn't.
Totally.
You can break their heart.
Yep.
I was just like, well, maybe in spirit, and definitely by music they were here.
Yes. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah,
It's a gem.
We're ready for it to come back.
We are. I'm ready.
I know. We'll have to meet there for sure.
Yes.
Oh, we'll be there with the dice.
Yeah.
So this is a little creepy. At 9 in the morning on a Monday, a bassinet was found on Allison Avenue.
Sans baby. Doesn't say anything. I would
Yeah.
assume the dispatcher would put in there if there was a child.
But okay, so the real question is, why is that a police call?
Why are half of these police calls?
A bassinet in the street.
Well, I will say in the hospital, if we find an empty bassinet, we call
Oh.
security right away because we're like, we stole the baby. That's frowned upon. Maybe though it was for a dog because we know people that
People
like to
push
push
their
their
dogs.
dogs around in strollers.
True.
That is true.
And what's the difference between a bassinet and a stroller? Because honestly, when I looked at that, I was like, what musical instrument is that?
A bassinet, I feel like, is more ancient looking and kind of like, well, it's more antique.
Classic.
Yeah,
okay.
it's more of
Vintage.
like
Vintage,
it's not
yeah.
so much a stroller. It's kind of like well, I guess you can have bassinets in baby rooms too.
Sure.
I already pre-ordered one for our dog. Don't worry.
Did you not? You did.
No, I actually did not do that, but I already have a really cute
Well,
bed.
you know who should be sponsoring you? What's the dog store?
Fido?
Fido should be your sponsor and do a whole
for a little
report.
future J name.
Future J-name dog every month. Give a report by Fido.
For the plug, we are looking for sponsors for Now and Wine. So far, we're a podcast that has started on a shoestring budget, and we remain on a shoestring budget.
I think we've gone more negative revenue since this.
Oh, for sure.
But you should see our swag.
Swag is cool.
Yes.
We're gonna open up an Etsy soon to sell it.
I cannot wait. This should be something that Fido has. A Main Street resident reported an ongoing problem with a bobcat that comes into his yard. It hangs out in a tree during the day and has killed all his chickens. Police advised him to contact a trapper through the Napa County.
He was hungry. He needed some lunch.
So-
Got some healthy chicken.
The interesting part about this is a new point of contact they're giving out. Typically, for animals, what do we get?
Public Works.
Public Works.
But I think that's when they're dead.
Okay, so we got Public Works, we got
Trappers.
trappers, and we also have, I guess, the dog catcher, animal control.
Yeah.
Right.
We care.
We Care. Wasn't there a We Care one here somewhere?
We do have a week here. And I have a rattlesnake wrangler
What?
on my...
Yeah,
I mean,
Ramirez or Martinez.
no, everyone says that's a
Rattlesnake?
different guy. This guy is crazy. He has a YouTube channel and everything.
But we were kind of talking about this earlier. Nature is such a common thing here that people don't really like. This bobcat thing is normal.
True.
Like
Yes.
I feel like it's a lot of stories about myself tonight.
He
I'm
probably
sorry
had a
about that.
collar.
But yeah, most likely. Carol Baskin coming in hot.
Oh my gosh, coming soon. I'm dancing with the stars.
She's actually our next guest, guys. It's fine.
Yes, that's who I have to get here.
But anywho, please tell us about.
The next one, a person called 911 to ask for We Care Animal Rescue number. 911 is for emergencies only.
Thank you for clarifying.
What's the number for 911? Animal control. God bless them. Here's another one. Medical aid on Howell. This is July 7th, 9:30. Medical aid at Howell Mountain Road and Silverado Trail for a person bitten by a possibly poisonous snake. The victim was driving, trying to reach a nearby hospital. Police told him to pull over and wait for help.
There was another snake one somewhere in here.
There was a skunk one. A Pratt Avenue resident caught a skunk in a cage and wanted help getting rid of it.
That was a trapper.
Hard pass.
Have you ever tried to call a trapper?
We had a trapper once, yeah. For coyotes in the vineyard. Because they chew on all the drip line. It's very bad.
Oh.
So.
In college, we had a raccoon, and I tried to call the trapper, and they're like, "You live in Idaho, like, the trappers don't exist here." Like, embrace the nature.
Embrace
We captured a raccoon once in a trap, and we took him all the way out to Lake Hennessy and let him go, and we're pretty sure he came back.
Yeah, we actually talked about this on our first episode, but we cut it out.
Oh God! No, we didn't cut out the raccoon talk.
Yeah, where do you guys live? Raccoon talk.
You know, I feel that's totally acceptable in St. Helena. Raccoon talk. Anywhere else, they'd be like, "What?"
They'd be like, "What are you talking about?" But remember, guys, we live in the posh Napa Valley.
Not quite nosh.
Not quite nosh,
But
but posh.
How about speaking of posh? July 10th, Friday, 12:30. Report of a man sticking out his tongue and making rude sexual gestures at a woman in a nearby parking lot at Main and Mitchell. He was described as a Hispanic man in his 70s wearing a cowboy hat.
What if he was chewing and it just looked like he was speaking his tongue?
People were not abiding by COVID rules. I have two that a group of more than 15 people were playing soccer at Miley Park. The caller was concerned about the spread of COVID-19 because they weren't socially distancing or wearing masks.
Soccer, high risk activity.
Yes, and they've been playing soccer there for
Forever.
forever.
I'm sure they'll be all right.
Oh, did you switch from helicopters to planes? Because
Recently, no.
there was report of an airplane circling over Kid Ranch Road. The caller said the pilot was tilting the wings back and forth and cutting off his engine.
Oh, terrifying. Oh, they clearly haven't seen me fly over there once. They would know it.
Do you fly?
Yeah. Blackhawks. So, if you ever see a Blackhawk flying around St. Helena,
Got you.
it's a problem.
There's a lot of medical aid happening in St. Helena right now.
A person asked for directions to St. Helena Road. It's in St. Helena.
Oh, I like this one.
Which one? A man came into, this is July 3rd, pre-Saturday. You know, can we just take a minute to say 2020 had all of the goddamn holidays on weekends?
I know. Halloween is Saturday.
Halloween's on a Saturday, and it's daylight savings, so we get an extra hour.
I mean, this 2020 was a gift to us.
Yeah,
And we
Taco
just ruined
Tuesday.
it. Yeah, everything. Taco Tuesday, all of the holidays, 4th of July on a Saturday,
A Cinco de Mayo.
completely ruined. It's like, yeah, thank you. 10:23, a man came into the lobby of the police station asking for help with his DMV paperwork because his printer was broken and he needed to make some copies. Police helped him. That's pretty legit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Most police departments would be like, bye, Felicia.
What kind of DMV paperwork was he doing? Because at this point, the DMV was closed.
That's true.
Because you cannot get a motorcycle license in July.
How do you know that?
Because I've been trying really hard to get a motorcycle license.
But aren't you still driving the motorcycle?
Chris, we're not going to talk about that.
Temporary license.
Yeah.
But that's good to know
It's a
because
Vespa. It doesn't count as a motorcycle.
Vespa. If you live in those areas where the power's going off and you need a printer, go to the police station.
Yeah.
See, there's resources.
Yeah, well, they're helpful.
They're really helpful.
And they're kind.
This is kind of, speaking of England, a woman said she was receiving annoying text messages, possibly from her husband's ex-wife.
Oh.
She lives in England, so police referred her to the sheriff's office. Our police didn't even want to deal with her. They're like,
Do you think they were on your bocce team?
Could be.
That's a good point.
Well, I should text him and find out.
How about this Pinot?
Yes, let's move on to the Pinot.
I'm into the Pinot now.
With the,
I'm sorry, I kind of did things a little backwards, but I'm totally.
no, this is a fun one because we make this Pinot Noir like we make Cabernet. So it has that optical sorting, make sure that every berry is the right berry that goes into, and then Angelina really extracts the color and the flavor, and it's just a big Pinot, but 100% Pinot.
Cool.
3 different Pinot clones.
Yeah, that's great. And the nose on that is
Right.
So strong, so good.
It's Russian River Valley, right behind the airport of Windsor on Star Road.
Cool. That's good. Man.
We only make 200 cases of this.
It's delicious.
Yeah. It's powerful. Yeah, and what I really like about Brasswood, you guys have all the cool toys. I mean, you got all the
We
right
do.
stuff in the right place to make really good wines.
And this year, I wanted to get the shredder for the destemmer because you can get, there's like one, you could get 10 tons of shredded. So the stems and the leftovers from the grapes, this is really official. But anyways, usually it's like a big mess. But they came out with a shredder that shreds it to like mulch.
Oh, so you can like reuse it. Oh, cool.
And then
And
use
you
it
could
in
just-
skin products.
And you can just, you put it in skin products.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how they do the mud baths. Is right.
Yeah.
I'm making this up.
Just-
But in terms of best things to do, like is so seriously, is the 100 things to do not really before you die? Is it chronological? It's just random smattering?
Yeah, the editor did the random scattering.
Okay,
And
cool.
yeah, because that would have been too much pressure to put it in.
Number one, that's very difficult.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? I mean, can we even ask? We can edit this out if we need to. But what would
No,
be your favorite thing?
Or like
to do?
top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah, so I always get asked like, what if I could only choose one thing to do?
Tough.
So I always, my go-to is, of course, I say the French Laundry. And really because it's the longest experience there, so if that's the last thing you're going to do before you die,
Did
at least
you
you get 4
know
hours.
they were open outside?
I did. I went to dinner there 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
to experience the
There
outdoor
we go.
dining.
So shout out to Sarah. Sarah's one of my friends, and
She-
she's a chef there. And
They're firing on all cylinders. It
she,
was
yeah,
so
she was like,
amazing.
we are doing everything, and they can see us, and like we are
It's-
doing it outside.
And it was the first time that I went that felt like a normal dinner. It was really cool. So we
Interesting.
were there having dinner. We drove by, saw people eating outside, and we're like, how cool would that be to
Mm-hmm.
eat outside? And it was a perfect Tuesday night, 8:30 seating. The weather was, we could not have picked a better night. The food, the service, the wines, the desserts is always like a fireworks show of desserts. Like it just never ends. And they were
Might have a
serving
meal.
foie gras,
Ooh.
which is back, and it was so good. And they had abalone, which they did a little
Yeah.
abalone dish that was, along with their classics, salmon tuna cone and their pearls that they
What
do.
is your favorite season to go to French Laundry? Because every season is different.
Any season you can get in. You know, it's funny that you say that because
Have you only been in summer?
I don't know the times of years. I've been in the or late winters, but it always seems the same because I don't get the vegetable aspect of the French Laundry because it's always meat heavy.
Okay.
And butters and cream. So
This is more and more like my type of meal.
yeah, and it's
Going.
kind of funny that you'd say that because I never thought of it as a seasonal restaurant. Because no matter when I went for the first time, I don't even remember, maybe late 90s, early 2000s to now, it seems like the same meal.
Which
Like
is
I
kind of
would
cool.
never have thought it was any different because that salmon tartare cone that you arrive with has been that same
Oh my
arrival
goodness.
dish.
The French Laundry is a huge question, but what's your like go-to? I mean, other than the Brasswood stuff, because you're obviously a fan. But like, what are you drinking on a normal basis for one?
Well, let's do normal basis and let's do like
Fancy.
favorite reach.
Okay.
Even if it's out of my
Epiphany,
budget, like this is
yeah.
what I want to drink.
So that would be
Pressure.
Bond.
Cool.
I like the Bond wines, but I love Checkerboard. I love Cabernet Sauvignon, 100% Cabernet. I like to drink. What do I drink? I'll drink a lot of Lale. I'll drink. Who else do I drink? I drink a lot of Cab. So Checkerboard every time it's on, Lale, Tor, trying to think around here, like when I go to the restaurants. I'm a fan of Turnbull, Peter Height's winemaking style. It's just really easy to drink. I like, who else? Yeah, just those.
That was a pretty good
Cool.
list.
That's good.
Oh.
That's really
I'll
good.
take it.
I have this spot on a wine list where I can it's like from here to here, and
You can move people in and out. And
that's like my sweet spots for wine because they all deliver, and I feel like it's a value even though it's but when you go to press or something, those psalms are so great. They know exactly what you want to drink, and they just bring something out.
Cool.
My go-to, the McDonald wine.
Oh yeah, Tokalan. Yeah,
Graham, and his wine is really good. I even had to go to 750 to buy a bottle there once.
Cool. No, they're phenomenal, and he's like the Tokalan historian, right? He knows everything about that place. Pretty cool.
Well, do you guys have any more crime?
Hey,
Do you want to create some crime? Have you ever had someone get the police called on them during a podcast? Is there something like, can we set off a firework?
TBD.
Oh, are you trying to achieve that?
A shot was heard from inside a house near Childs on Friday, July 10th. That's kind of scary. That could happen.
That's right around the corner.
I know.
That's literally across the street.
Wow.
Yeah, not yet, but we have goals. So.
Yeah.
We've had people on that usually they bring their own
Yeah.
crime police log and say this was me, this
is
my
me.
friend.
Or
Yeah.
they were involved in it.
Totally.
They were a witness.
Mhm.
They were a friend of a friend that did
I mean,
it.
luckily, as we've noticed our crime, if you've been involved in it, like discussing it, you're probably not going to go to
It's
jail.
pretty marginal.
I mean,
I know.
hardcorely marginal.
Yeah.
So someone did get, I mean, this is back to your social distancing thing. Reports of juveniles boxing and exercising on the field on Hillview Place without social distancing or mask.
There was also approximately 15-person people having a party near Maine Adams, not wearing masks.
Maine and Adam, like the 76 or what's that? The Chevron?
No, Maine isn't the elementary school in Adams?
Yeah.
So that would be like near Basconi's.
Yeah. Like Vasconis or
Whoa.
Spartago was tearing it up.
I know, I was going to say, what's
like
one
the
of those?
window
Or the
hotel.
bank.
Maybe it was a hotel. Maybe it was the bank. Maybe it was
The Y Down has some good parties.
Yeah.
It's a cool spot.
It's a cool
Yes.
place. I've never been in there, but I've just seen
You
it.
haven't
Yeah,
been
no,
there?
well, I have friends from the city that'll come up and just
Yeah.
like grab a night there, and it's great.
Cool. I kind of want to grab a night there, just period.
Yeah, so I hope this translates. So when you were talking about the whole hiring at Giss and Gander, so you're not allowed to interview anybody in a place that you don't have occupancy yet when you're in construction. So interviews have to be off-site.
Yeah.
So I used the Y Down Hotel to interview, but we used the bedroom. And so we set up a stage at the Y Down, and people were coming in and out to interview for hostesses, cocktail waitresses, and I didn't think anything of it. Like
Until you'd be like, come to this room.
until we're like in the bedroom, and we're like, come to the hotel. We're like a new restaurant coming to St. Helena, and people showed up.
So where can we find like your stuff? It's original Marmar.
I was gonna say, we gotta go
We
through.
gotta go through everything.
Where
gosh.
can we, if we want to contact you about your being just fabulous and like a great asset to the valley,
Yep.
your book, where we want to get that, and then the wine.
I think the easiest thing is original Marmar on my Instagram direct messages.
And we will tag you in all our stuff
awesome.
too. So
But the
people-
wine is direct to consumer. We don't sell to any of our restaurants or merchants, so it's 100% on property and website. So the Brasswood is, we don't make enough to distribute yet, and so you get the book anywhere on Amazon. At the airports, it does really well, but also at these wineries, some of the
I've
wineries.
seen it in town a lot.
Yeah, the Pennyweight, Marcus and Wayne are big supporters.
We should
We
get
should get
that.
them on.
Oh my
They're
gosh,
so
we're on the
cool.
same wave.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
They're really cool. Yeah.
They would be
They'd be
funny.
hilarious.
They're
Yeah, a lot
awesome.
of fun.
They are funny.
Anyway,
Cool.
all about
Okay.
you.
Just it's funny because I love promoting other people, but that's why I wrote the book, 100 Things to Do, Napa Valley. But yeah, you could I'm so easy to be found. I sit on the board of the Chamber of Commerce, on the chair of the chamber, so I've been on that board for 8 years and the chair for the last 3. I sit on the Boys and Girls Club board, which is a cool board for St. Helena and Calistoga. They do a lot of amazing things for the community, not only the children, but the families of the children that go there. So yeah, I'm not too...
You're multi-talent.
That's cool. We really appreciate it because all that local community influence is so huge in keeping this place
Special.
Yeah.
what
special
it
and
is.
important, and it's really really great that people take their personal time to do that. So
Yeah, I mean, it's... I just like to drink and eat, so it's one of those things where you could always find
How
me at a
have we
restaurant.
not been friends before?
I know, it's
I
crazy.
know.
Because those are my favorite activities.
It's my favorite thing to do. Yeah. I've always wanted to do, after the book comes out, and go do the 100 things. And Angels, we just went to Angels on Saturday, and Bettina is killing it out down there in Napa. But I have a friend that wants to do the 100 things not to do in Napa Valley.
That's
that would be
the
good.
yin and the yang.
Yeah, so like...
that would be kind of a cool New Year's resolution, is to take your book and go through the whole year and do the 100 things to do here.
Cool.
I think you can make it happen.
We could make a challenge.
Yes.
And anyone that does it gets a free 911 wine hat embroidered.
Perfect.
Done.
Definitely.
Please have each location sign.
It's like a
But you-
scavenger hunt.
It is exactly a scavenger hunt.
I know, exactly. Well, the funny thing is the first book came out in 2017, which, again, with the fire, so I need to stop writing books because every time a book comes out, the fires happen. But there was one that I didn't lose any experiences from the book except for one. And so I used to say, if you could do all 100 things, I will send you anywhere in the world. But I knew that one of them was not.
Which one was it?
It was Polito Walker. It was a winery that burned down up in Mount Beater.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Bar Terra closed, which was in there in the first book.
Oh,
Tragic.
I know. That is
That
such a...
ramen.
Oh.
I still want to get him to do a pop-up. So if you're listening, I want you to come and do a pop-up at any other location.
I will go eat there every night.
Right.
Do you know how many locals miss that place?
I know.
Like, just to sit at the bar and get ramen.
The ramen and the cod.
Never gonna go. Tragic.
Yeah. You never...
If they do a pop-up,
I'm down.
we could go.
I'm down.
And I think we could get him to do a pop-up. He's been...
Please do a pop-up.
hero. Or yes. But yeah, no. So this one, everybody has a chance to do 100 things because they're all
The
still...
bet is off the table. You won't send
Yeah,
them
no, I
anywhere in
like
the world.
yours. I think that's more... The hat thing is way better than a
Wouldn't it
trip
be
around the
cool?
world.
It's a little more budget friendly. But wouldn't it be cool if you got a book and then like every time you went to that place they could like sign the page or stamp the page and then at the end of it it's like a passport of like look at all the cool
That'd be
things
super
I
cool.
did.
Yeah.
That'd be super
I know a couple of people that are attempting to do that. So it's one of the reasons why we went to the French Laundry a few weeks ago was because it's in the book and we're going to try to do all 100. The hikings and the athletic ones are going to be tough.
We'll get you
But
there.
number 8,
You
dive
can borrow
into...
my Peloton. It's fine.
Number 8.
But closing out with diving into the only dance party in San Helena, Anna's Cantina. You've probably heard about this place in San Helena, but couldn't find it. At night, this place turns itself on. Anna's Cantina claims to be the best bar in San Helena, not because it is the only bar in town, but because of the friendly staff, great decor, mix of clientele, creating the perfect atmosphere for your night out.
Well, I think that's a perfect way to end this episode.
Phenomenal.
Quintessential St. Helena.
Marcus, thanks a ton.
Thank you for
It's been
having
a
me.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hillary, where do we find us?
Yeah, so we are 911 Wine Podcast on Instagram. Spell out 91 Wine, the words. Don't just type in the numbers. We won't pop up.
Nope.
We also have a Facebook page. You can find us pretty much on all streaming sites. I think the only one we're last pending on is Pandora, but it should be approved soon. But
The digital marketing team really has been kicking butt.
yeah, let me tell you, I had some extra time with that extra day this week. Instagram or iTunes, Spotify, all the rest of it. You can find us. You really can. Our website is listed on Buzzsprout, is our streaming platform, and you can click on all the links there to get to wherever your podcast streaming needs are met.
Love it.
So
Yeah, thanks again. It's
Thank
been
you.
fun.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yay! All right, well, that wraps up another episode of 911 Wine.
And remember, guys, stay out of the police log. And if you can't be good, be careful.
You enjoy your evening and be safe.